thought I'd come to Limekiln Park and film an update because why not? It's pretty, it's calming. Water might be a little loud, we'll see. I was going to film the update at my dentist office, his cute little fountain, but I'm like, well, the fountain was kind of loud and you have street noise and that's kind of loud, and and I was in the sun, I couldn't see myself. So they have some nice benches here, but obviously they're facing the water because you want to sit here and look at the water, not have a nice phone background where you want to be backwards. There's a couple picnic tables. That's okay. I don't know if you can see or not, there's some of the fuzzies floating around. Looks like it's snowing. It's cottonwood trees. Makes it look like it's snowing. All the little puffballs flying all over. Bad thing about those is that they clog up the air conditioners. So when I was working at Kinko's, and every summer we'd end up getting a ceiling leak and have to get the air conditioning people in because the whole filter was covered in the cottonwood, and then it couldn't suck in the air, and so it ended up causing leaks. But anyways, so yeah, I was just at the dentist. The good news and the bad news. It was a very short, quick, painless appointment. He was able to get whatever that covering thing was out quickly. Like I said, I didn't need a numbing shot. He didn't cut my gum or anything. He took the forceps and I felt a couple of little tugs, and it was like it was out. I'm like, oh, okay. Tasted a little blood, but he was like, yeah, it's going to be sensitive for about a week. Maybe by the weekend of that, it should be fine. He also just, again, be gentle over there. I'm like, okay, so again, no chewing pretty much on that side, and then it should be fine, and it'll keep healing. So that's good. In the meantime, I kind of had a question I'd asked the gal when I checked in, because last week when Wayne went and had his crown fixed, he said that there was still like a $400 balance on our account from me. And I was like, well, what the heck? When we went there for my appointment to get the tooth pulled, they told me it was more expensive than the sheet that I'd gotten in the email that I signed off on. And then for them to say that, and then now we owe another $400, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You're already saying it was $200 more than what it was. And granted, yes, it's just an estimate. So, I mean, I get that, but I also just want to know then what are these charges? Because I also had a sheet then that had the estimates for the next part of this, which would be some x-ray of the jawline and the crown part. So I don't think that included the implant. So I figured there too, okay, well, yeah, there'd be extra charges because of, if I was going to the oral surgeon, obviously I'd be paying the oral surgeon for doing the one part. But I think the oral surgeon part was going to be where they they drill a hole in the jaw, and they put a peg in there to hold its place and get that to heal and everything, and then they put a placer on there, kind of like a temporary cap type thing. So today when I was asking about it, the gal that I checked in with said, well, let me get you, talk to another gal that really does the payment stuff, that she knows all this, and she could talk to you on the way out. So I did. I talked to her on the way out, and she said that why there was the extra charge was because our insurance company did not cover the anesthetic for my having the tooth pulled. So that was the extra $400. It's like, okay. And then I had, like I said, the other sheet that had the estimate for the next part, and she goes, well, why don't, I update that right away while I'm at it too. Because her looking at it, she goes, yeah, and usually insurance doesn't cover the x-ray portion. So there'll be that extra charge. And she's like, yeah, let me just do an update and we'll see. So she printed out a new update sheet, showed me that, and she had in there the part that if Dr. Kurt would be doing the implant part. And so that's an extra $2,500. I guess the other portion that was on there for the x-ray and something else, that was also another $400 more expensive than what they originally told me. Because again, she's saying insurance won't cover it. She was, I'm just gonna assume she'll try. She tried logging into their site, and she wasn't seeing a number or something. She was like, she's gonna call them and see for sure, because sometimes insurance covers it, sometimes she's like, most of the time they don't. And I'm like, yeah, I'd rather have a higher estimate and have it be lower when I actually come to pay than opposite. And then, like I said, then there was the other part in there that if Dr. Kurt was going to do that. So she was also going to confirm with him that he would be doing that portion of putting the peg in. And so as I said too, I know when I went to the oral surgeon, they actually they knocked me out, put me in that twilight for like when you have your wisdom teeth pulled. So I was out for that when they, drilled and did whatever. So I'm assuming if my doctor's going to do it, he's going to numb me out again. He's probably going to give me that numbing shot. So again, I'm not going to feel drilling into my jawbone. So yeah, there's that extra charge. And so we could set up a payment plan for you. We could do it. I'm like, yeah, we'll see when that time comes. She's like, yeah, you've got time. It's still months away. In 3 months, so sometime in September, I'll have my appointment for them doing the x-ray to make sure that the bone is thick enough and where it's at and stuff. And I guess when they do that x-ray, they can tell whether he can do the drilling peg part there or whether I'd have to go to an oral surgeon. So we've got time. But I also got my Aurora bill in the mail again yesterday too, saying, you're past due. This needs to be paid now. And that one's like $2,000 or something. I think it was $1,700 or $2,000. Because I know I had a couple bills in there. One was $300 something, one was $700 something, and then I think there was another one in there. So, and of course I tried to go on there. I thought, well, I'll pay the $300 one now. So again, they get some money. And I'll just kind of slowly pay that, but they don't have a choice. I can just make a payment. I thought there was a time at one point that I could choose a bill and pay a certain bill, because I know they were like, well, you could choose a bill or you could just make a payment, which is what we prefer, because then they put the money how they want it to whatever bill, but then there's always portions of bills left. Whereas it's like, well, if I have this $300 bill, why can't I click on that bill? Let me pay that one, and then that one will be done and off the, the list. So I figure I gotta look into that more today, or if I call them and say, okay, we're gonna need to pay this one. But I know one of the last times I called and wanted to do that type of payment, they're like, well, then we'll set up a payment plan for you. But the payment plan is also that either they do a direct deductible or they do a direct payment, like of a certain amount. Like if you have whatever bill, they go, okay, we'll pay it over 6 months, and so every month you owe $250. And I'm thinking, well, some months I can pay $250 and some months I can't. Some months I can pay more. And so yeah, at this point, that's where I'm at. We'll figure it out. It's all going to be okay. We'll get it paid sooner or later. It'll be okay. But anyways, I thought, the park wasn't that far off the beaten path here that it was kind of on the way home. I just had to take a different way home. But I haven't been here in a while. I'll come here, look at the water. Where I parked, there's a boat launch, and I'm like, how is it a boat launch? There's not really like a big area for like a big ramp that people could drive their little, what would you call it, the boat hauler, the boat, the thing you put the boat on that has the wheels that you carry, the trailer. There's not really room for that, but there's actually a couple guys here there's some kayaks. I'm like, oh, yeah, those are boats too. So that, I could see that. You can enter the water here to get in your kayak. So, just had a bug go in my eye. Anyways, alright. I'll go. I haven't had anything to eat or drink yet either. Haven't had breakfast. So I brought one of my my carrot beet juices with me. I have a couple smoothies that I made yesterday, and I'm like, no, I want my juice. I'm in the mood for that. And then I still have to make salads. So I will do that when I get home. And then edit a video for tomorrow. I have that Mexican bean thing that I made. The south of the border beans, that's what it's called. Anyways, alright. I'm rambling. I will go for now. If you can see that cottonwood flying around or not. Tiny little white fuzzies. Woo! Said. Summer snow. Ah yes, so after the rain. See, the rain has stopped. The squirrel has been out and digging. But I also see I got a tomato. Yay! I don't think I've checked the other plants. Let's see. Ugh, it's wet out, so I have to have my little seat cushion or my butt's gonna get all wet. But Yep, digging up there. But it also looks like I've got some little buds starting there. Supposed to be for my beans. So yay! Let's see if these guys are gonna flower. This is for my cucumber. And the pepper plant had some, let's see, that one's got some little buds starting in there too. And I think that one's got some. So we're getting there. And it looks like my pansy seeds are actually making it. Even though this pot was all dug up, so they're not nicely going to be spaced out all over, but I might get some flowers growing. Happy Wednesday! Just finished my workout. I have actual sweat dripping down. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not close enough. Woo! Because, that's what you want to see. Sweat. So anyways, good workout. Figured I would do a more heavy-duty one today because I didn't work out all weekend and I didn't work out Monday. So yesterday I did just a light one. Today I'm like, okay, back to it. Heavy duty. Anyways. Wednesday. Yep. Time for a shower, and then I may or may not make a recipe. Otherwise, as per usual, I have computer work to do. It rained all last night. Started at 11ish, 11:30. When I went to bed, I heard the thunder rolling. And this morning it was still drizzling. Now it looks like it's stopped. It's getting a little bit lighter out there. So we shall see. I could probably get a walk in. I know they said like an inch of rain today, but that may have included the rain that we all got overnight. Which again, in that respect, overnight the squirrels are sleeping. I did pray for all the animals out there though, with all the thunder and lightning and all the rain. I was like, oh, help all the animals get through that. But in any case, I peeked out there this morning and there wasn't anything in the garden. But obviously if it's going to be lighter out there now, then I'm sure the squirrels will do some of their digging like they do. So we'll check that out later, get that fixed up. But for now, time for a shower and then some breakfast. So I think I'm going to cut up some of my basil and parsley again, put that in the scrambled eggs. And I'm drinking one of my smoothies. I got that in the other room. Drinking a wet. I made red, white, and blue smoothies the other day. So raspberry, banana, and blueberry. And so I'm drinking my raspberry one today. So yay! It's good to have a little snack before I have my real breakfast. Happy Saturday! Alright, we already made one step. I'm out with Wayne. And the library was asking for shoe boxes, and I had like 16 of them in my garage. So woo, we dropped them off, asked them if they could use all of them, and they were like, oh yes please. They said they are doing dioramas this week with the kids. So that's awesome, they could use them. I get them out of my garage, and like I said, always nice that they can be useful. So now we're going to shop at Kohl's for a little bit, and then we go grocery shopping. Alright, down at Kohl's, I found some shorts. Ooh, I'm so happy. Who knew? Wasn't going for that. But then we passed them, and I'm like, oh hey, shorts with elastic. Because I have a pair of shorts that have a button on them, snaps. They have snaps on them. And I'm like, oh, I wore those last year, that'd be fine. And I put those on this last week, and it's like, oh, they're a little tight. You know what the heck? I'm like, I know they fit last year. I'm like, oh, I was like 30 pounds lighter last year. That's why. So I have one pair of elastic shorts that are more like a workout type short. And then I have my capri type pants and stuff, like what I'm wearing now. But we saw elastic band shorts, because I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, I really suppose I should start looking for those or whatever. So the universe worked it, they let us find. I had my size, so I'm so excited. There's my honey. Here we are. Grocery shopping now. It's 89 degrees out here. Oh, windy. We are windy too, but yeah, heat index of 105. Yes. Heat index of 105 today. So it's hot. So it's nice that there's air conditioning. There's air conditioning in the car, air conditioning in the store. So, time to go get some groceries. Yep. Alright, Wayne likes to get these little containers of cheese for a snack, and this is what's in the cheese area today. $441. You can have your own little big Parmesan meal. So we were shopping for some flavored water for Wayne, and these jumped out at us. So we got some Minecraft Poppy. So I got these silly characters. All right, grocery shopping's done. Got a full cart full, got stuff under, but we made it under $300. Woohoo! Back in the day when I was doing that Denise Austin eating plan, back in my 20s, so 30 years ago, I remember making those grocery lists. And because every meal was specified at what you were going to eat, with snacks included and all that stuff, and it was always different every day. Which is part of why, like I said, some of the days I'd have leftovers then, because you buy a container of like English muffins and you only eat it one day, and like, well, you still have all the other English muffins to eat, so I would, then have those again on a different day. But back then, I mean, we spent like $100, $125 on groceries, and it was like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive. Oh. And these days, we're happy if we're like around 200. And today, we're starting to gear up for getting food for Cassie coming back home. So a few extras, I have a few items for her, and that's only still a start. There's a few more. She's been today texting, messaging me going, oh Mom, hey, by the way, could I have some fruit? I'm like, what kind of fruit do you want? I don't know, something red. Watermelon sounds good. I'm like, okay, well, so that's up for next week's grocery list. I'm starting to build that up. And then we're shopping today. I'm like, oh yeah, the Hershey's. She likes the Hershey bars, so we did get those. And then she was always like, oh hey Mom, can I have some peanut M&Ms? A huge honking bag. I'm like, so I was like, yeah, okay, we'll put that on the list for like next week. We'll get that. And then the
pickup request.
The ramen. She's like, oh, can you find the ramen that I sent on the list? Like, Wayne's already looked, we can't find it. But he wants to go to the Korean restaurant that they go to. Like her and Mandy have been to several times. Like, we've been there too. But he's like, they have a little grocery store thing there. So he wanted to go there anyways and pick her up some little drinks that she likes. And so we might find the ramen there. Otherwise, we have to stop at a Walmart or Meijer, because they have the ramen that she likes. Today being 90 degrees, we're not going to stop with having groceries in the car. So we'll have to do that later, tomorrow or something. And then what else do we think of? There was just something else that I thought too. I'm like, all right, I already have a Cassie list going that we figured for next week, that we'll have those groceries to pick up too. But good that she tells us what kind of food she wants. So, we'd rather have it in the house and have it there for her ready to eat. And then her pickup meal, she's wanting, she wanted Qdoba. And I said, well, I thought you wanted Arby's, because we already mentioned that a while ago. We had Arby's a couple weeks ago, and Wayne put a picture in the chat, and she was like, oh, yeah, I want that. So I said, okay, there's an Arby's near the airport, like we could get her Arby's. And now she's like, oh, Qdoba. And I said, maybe Arby's. And she goes, yeah, both. So I thought too, well, we might either get both if we have choices, or some of them too, like the Qdoba salad she gets is like, what do you want? To go in there too. It's good to have choices in case one restaurant is closed or not, or something happens, they don't have it, so that we can have, I get something for her, so when she's there, Wayne's like, yeah, we'll set up a whole buffet. Set up a whole buffet for her that will have the spread of Qdoba and Arby's and fruit and a drink and some the M&Ms. Yeah, when she gets home, she can have that whole buffet. Lots of good food for her. But anyways, successful shopping, yay! Alrighty, I just finished filming a carrot tuna salad, so I made a sandwich for myself and I ate that. It was very good, got that out of the way. Even though I actually even had breakfast today, so this wasn't my first meal of the day. I'm already at 2 meals at 2 o'clock. Woo! Anyway, so I went ahead and made a batch for my mom, because the 1 can of tuna is like for 2 servings. So I did that, and then I had us buy 2 cans of tuna, knowing that so then I can make some for Wayne. So I have a batch for him. And you can see or not, then I've got dishes to do. But I'd had, oh yeah, you can see got my little bug catcher thing going again too, the blue light. Let me see in the refrigerator now. Either way, a little far out, whatever. Yeah, I prepared my recipes for this week, figured out what I wanted to make, and even as of last night, I got my coloring sheets prepared, and I was like, ooh,
I'm in the mood for filming, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and I have to finish off this video for this week yet. So finish my updates. So I suppose, let's turn around and face the table so it's prettier than seeing this. Oh, I should change my clothes before doing this, but you know, it's so be it. I'm already dressed and the outro needs to be done, so. Anyways, not much happened this weekend. Slow weekend. It was hot. It was good. I was thinking it was going to be Strawberry Fest this weekend, and it's actually next weekend, which I am so grateful for because we've had the heat index of the 105 degrees this weekend. So our main Milwaukee Festival Summerfest started, and it's usually cooler by the lake. I think they were saying it was going to be hot down there also, but I didn't hear of any casualties, anything. Not that anything will be really put on the news, people are passing out or that, but you can sometimes feel a little bit cooler if you're actually on the lakefront. There's some rocks there and stuff, but finding shady spots, or at nighttime, it still would be a little cooler. I think our lows are only like 70 degrees though too, so it's been warm. Especially here too, being, you know, a 2-floor unit, that the upstairs gets warm, but we have a ceiling fan, so that's been helpful. And then I turn the air down, like in the daytime I can have it usually about 75 in the house, which is about it, right when I have the heat on. I mean, that's my comfort level, I guess, is about 74. So with the air, 75, 76, especially if it's just me home. Wayne runs warmer, so then we turn it down a little bit, but also if we're going to bed, then I have to turn it down to like 73 so that it's a comfortable temperature upstairs for sleeping. But today too, it was 82 degrees already at like 8:30 when I got up. I was like, oh. So I think it's already, well, it was 92 before I started filming. And I've been filming for, oh goodness gracious, about 2 hours. Okay. So anyways, it's hot. I had the one tiger lily bloom.
My first tiger lily bloomed. But also all these other buds have come up in the last day. There weren't even this many yesterday, so I'll be having lots of flowers soon. Woohoo!
So I took a little footage of that. By the end of that day, because it was so hot, the tiger lily was already wilted. Which I think they only go for like a day or two anyways before they also die off. A thing I also never really noticed. I mean, I've had them because, again, they're easy. They don't take any care. It's like they bloom, they're there, you know, they grow, they bloom. I don't have to water them. I have been on these warmer days just because I'm out and I water my vegetable garden. So I was like, oh, as long as I have the hose out, then I'll come and I water. And they planted 3 new bushes by us, so happy about that. Because when we moved here, we'd have trees there, and again, we kind of grew up with some of those trees, and the girls love playing in those trees. And then the trees got old, and bugs were eating away at them and stuff. So there was some kind of, you could see the holy areas in there, or indents, and yeah, where the branches were weak. And so then they haven't put out in our newsletter of, hey, don't play on the trees. Which again, the girls were at least old enough that they weren't playing on the trees at that point. But and then they took the trees down a couple years ago. And I was like, okay. So we kind of had that hole there, missingness, but now they planted 3 more. So that's awesome. They did that on Monday this week. So yesterday while I had the hose out, I'm like, I went and watered those because, again, it was 90 yesterday. What else? They kind of, I don't know, they took away one of my stick piles. Good on the bad, one of the times I was walking, I heard one of the unit owners who helps out around, I think his wife is on the board now, so if he kind of is, you know, also kind of on the board, he helps out. He was talking to one of our past presidents about the big stick pile that was there on the access road. Because back in the day, when we were first here, we were self-owned, self-maintained. We had our own board members and we had our own maintenance guys. I guess that's the more important part. And then our main maintenance person retired years ago, and after that there was some trouble going on with residents and the board and stuff, and so it was pretty much nobody wanted to run for the board, and so now we've hired somebody out. That helps, which is nice, but it's not the same. So in the meantime, obviously, with having our own maintenance people and all that, they did all the grass cutting and the shoveling and and stuff. So when we did have windy days and there'd be sticks falling on the grass and stuff, they would clean all that up. And they would take it down to that pile and they would take care of it. They would get a wood chipper in like once a year or whatever and chip up all the stuff and then use that around our trees. And well, in the meantime, in the last few years, residents, obviously there's other people because the pile was already there when I kind of started using it, have been piling up sticks in that area, or some big branches that have fallen off the trees and all that. Well, then we go take them down in that area. Oh, Rosie's. It's been a while. Rosie's saying hi. She says, hey, I'll be part of the video. Let me speak. Because I just had that good tuna salad sandwich. Anyways, so yeah, I've been carrying sticks there. And like I said, our one unit owner that was the president lives on that road. And so she was always like, oh, thank you for doing that. You know, I'm like, oh, yeah. It's my thing. So Wayne always laughs at me when we take a walk. And I'm always like, oh, stick. So one of our jokes from years past is like, you know, who is the dog? Are you the dog? Are you the... So that's my joke. I am the dog. I am the dog. I see a stick and I'm like, oh, stick. There's a stick. I gotta pick it up. Let me carry my stick. So depending on where I see the sticks when I'm taking my walks, then I know which way I want to walk on my path this day. If I go the one way, you know, clockwise or counterclockwise. And then I pick up a bunch of sticks and then I put them, because we still have a pile on the one end and, you know, it's already getting covered by all the weeds and all that. But I'm like, I put the sticks over there, and otherwise then I pick up stuff and then I put them on the stick pile on the other end. Well, that one actually, they got all cleaned up. Now I don't see any wood chips. I don't see any wood chips around our trees. Maybe I just, you know, I'm not seeing it. But they have a bunch of cones set up there too. And I thought I had overheard them talking about that they may not want people putting stuff there anymore or something or whatever. But I'm thinking, I'm like, well then what, you know, what do you do with them? Because the grass cutters don't usually clean anything up. I think unless it's really big, they've, you know, got the big machinery, and so all the medium-sized sticks and whatever, it doesn't do anything to their machine, so they just ride over them. As opposed to when you're, you know, regular homeowner, if you're cutting your own grass and you have your own little lawnmower and you're going, you know, sticks can damage your blades, and or, you know, also spit out at you or wherever and fly and whatever, break a window or come hurt your leg or. So when we, you know, when the girls were little and I was outside, so I told Wayne too, I'm like, I was always doing that type of stuff. One, to kind of keep the area clean, and we had a couple kids down our row. And so I was always sweeping. I would sweep all the stones away because they'd be riding on their skateboards and everything. And, you know, if you know that from your childhood or whatever, you ride a skateboard, you're riding, you know, or you're in your inline skates, you're in whatever. If you hit a stone, sometimes that stops you and then you go tumbling or falling or, so it was kind of like I would always be sweeping our area up. Sometimes when the garbage trucks would come through, they would leave either garbage, broken glass. Sometimes they just leave a puddle of icky water behind from, you know, all the stuff in there. So I would have the hose out. I would spray all that down so it was all nice. I'd sweep up all the glass and all the whatever. And again, I'd be cleaning up all the sticks. And pretty much down our whole row where I'm at. Because again, the girls would be riding up and down, and as long as they're outside and I could watch them, they were having fun, you know, whatever. And so while they're doing that, I would just kind of be walking around and I'd be, you know, kind of cleaning up the area. And now I don't do that stuff anymore around here. Now it's more like all the sticks, all the stuff that again, that I know would help the maintenance guys. Like in the wintertime, I shovel. I shovel my own area. I'll shovel out my garage stuff. So again, they don't need to get close to my garage. Because sometimes, again, with these, you know, now the companies that we have coming and doing it, they've hit our siding, and we've got some little broken areas of siding and stuff. Sometimes they've hit the doors. They didn't hit mine. I think they either hit a neighbor's and there's one by mom's. But in any case, so I like to shovel out that, yeah, you know, they can come plow that other area, but I do what I can when I can, and do the sidewalk. Because again, I nicely will have the sunshine that at least if I shovel and I shovel early enough, then everything gets melted and I don't have to worry about it so much, because a lot of times too they lay down a lot of salt. Again, it was more important when walking the dogs, because then the dog would get the salt all in its paw pads and or drag it in the house, or we were dragging it in the house. So it was kind of like I kind of sweep away a lot of the salt too, because it's like don't need it on a sidewalk, need it more down by the end of the garage sometimes when it would be dripping down there, or we need, you know, salt in our drive. But in any case, now my thing is picking up sticks. So yesterday again, I had some branches, and then, you know, we went over that way, and I'm like, well, you know, there is still a pile a little further back. So I'm kind of like, I went in a little further and tucked it in the long little tree line that's on that side. But again, we'll see what happens if anybody else does it, or if they start a different pile, or, you know, they just leave them, whatever. But it's my thing. Oh, while we were walking the other day too, we saw a turtle, a pretty big dinner size, you know, dinner plate size turtle. Seen that again because we've been in this condo forever, and so every few years probably. I wish I'd see them more often. I've seen them in the water. I've seen smaller ones that have been in the rocks. There's been like a log once in a while, either in the water or something, so I've seen like 2 of them on there. I've seen one of them again. I don't know. 7 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, kind of right off the path. There was a big turtle, and she had a hole dug behind her, so I knew she was going to be laying eggs. I didn't see any eggs lay, you know, but I'm like, okay, I'm like there, I'm kind of looking like, oh, there's no way to really protect the turtle. I don't have any like fencing or anybody, you know. I was going to knock on the unit owner's house and say, hey, just, you know, could you keep an eye out? But I'm like, you know, whatever. I know they've done this before, so they've managed. And it was funny because there was a family that was walking in front of us, and there was like maybe a 10-year-old girl with them. I think there was a younger boy too. He was fine, but she saw the turtle and kind of freaked out. She screamed and kind of ran away a little bit and looked, you know, poor turtle. She just sat there. She didn't move. So that's how they kind of moved on, and then we, you know, walked by and stood there, and we're like, oh, all right. Well, so now, and one of the other years after first moving in here, that was the other thing, I saw I dug a hole up in one area, and I was like, oh, what in the world was here that dug this hole? And then I heard a little while after that about how, yeah, turtles sometimes come and do that, or whatever, we have turtles here. I'm like, oh. So during one of this last walk, a couple days ago, as we were walking, there was a turtle. Now they just put up new fencing oh God, where are we? We're in June. I think it was last year, because I think I was thinking about helping, but I still wasn't up for it. I was still healing. I wasn't, didn't know how much I could do and help. So they put up new fencing in our area, which is little, you know, 3 foot high-ish type fencing or whatever, mainly to keep the geese out. Because again, we used to have a lot of geese, and then all their babies and stuff, and they would be on the sidewalks and people would feed them and whatever, and then you had goose poop all over, and then it wasn't fun to walk, you know, you were getting lots of goose poop. So now that we put up the fencing, and they tried planting a bunch of bushes, which like half of them took and half of them didn't, so we still have open areas, but now with the fencing and stuff, that helps too. Because even though geese can fly, they usually don't want to. They prefer to walk. So once in a while we do. We had, I think I put a picture in here before, a little video of the mama and daddy goose with their little ones, which I think are kind of like I said, teenagers. We've seen them. They've grown up a little bit. Wayne took a little bit of a video, maybe took a picture. I think I told him, take a picture for me. Because we walked yesterday that there was like three or four families of geese that were swimming along, and it was kind of funny because we stood there and were like, oh, hey, look at all of them, and it was funny because the mom and dad and the babies were kind of out front a little bit, and the mom and dad kind of swam up and like coroned the babies, courted, I don't know. They gathered them together so that like the 2 babies were in between them, like they were protecting them. And they kept going. The other ones were fine. They didn't think much, but they looked almost grown up. They didn't have the complete black and white heads yet. They were just a little bit, you could tell they were a little bit younger. They weren't grown up yet, but they're getting there. And then we saw some babies again up with some, as we were near the main street. They like to hang out up there and stuff, and sometimes cross the street. Like goofballs. I'm like, just stay on the side. You're God. There's plenty of food. But there's some more babies again, which is interesting. I got another brood. But anyways, yeah, we saw that, and we saw the turtle, and the turtle had like 1 foot up against the fence. Just kind of there. And it's like, yeah, honey, sorry, that's as far as you're gonna get. You can't get up any further up here. So hopefully there's soft enough ground, you know, down there, because there's still a good, you know, 3 feet or so from where the fence is to the water. That I'm like, if you'll find a spot and you can, you know, get your eggs laid, you'll be fine. And then kind of funny, ran into a neighbor yesterday. So we saw the turtle a couple days ago, and yesterday we saw the geese, and then another neighbor, and we were in this area, and he had slowed down and stopped. I thought, oh, he wants to talk to us. He's walking his dogs, and so I asked him, I'm like, oh, are you looking for the turtle? Do you see that? And he's like, no, there's this bird. He goes, have you been dive bombed by this bird yet? And I'm like, yeah. I was telling Wayne that just the other day. I said, again, earlier in the week or something, I was heard the bird chirping in the tree, looked and I saw it at the top of the tree, and I'm like, okay. And then I heard chirping, and I look again, and I couldn't see it. So I'm slowly walking, and I'm looking, and I'm like, where did the bird go? I don't see it in the tree anywhere, but man, I hear it. And then I was kind of past the tree, and then I turned to walk again, and then it was like, swoop, and it was like foot in front of me. It was like, ah, and it flew off. I'm like, oh, well, hello, hi, there you are, I see you, okay. So this neighbor was like, yeah, every time I walk now, like, it dive bombs me and yells at me, whatever. And while we're standing there talking about this, it did it to Wayne, because he hadn't had it happen yet. So he's like, oh, yep, there, I just got it. So, oh, silly birds. Nature, fun stuff. I think that's it. I was trying to think too, because I've got some pictures in my folder of editing. I'm like, oh, what did I have to talk about yet that I have pictures of that? That I was going to tell you about. So I think that was it. So Saturday we did our grocery shopping. It was hot. Yeah, we went by Mom's, visited a little. It was a short visit. And then yesterday we sat in the house. Was looking at some stuff about different things to do. First I have a list for the family of things that what we want to do, because Wayne came across something like there's this, building size tall potato masher, and so there's some company that has that, and it's like, oh hey, let's go see that at some point. So we're waiting for Cassie comes back, and we have maybe these little day trips that we can go out and go see something interesting. So that, and then they've just built a troll in a city near here. I have to look, I don't even know how far, maybe half an hour-ish, maybe 45 minutes from here. But anyways, there's this guy that, I think he's from Denmark, if I'm remembering correctly, and he goes around to different countries, different areas, whatever, and he builds these building size trolls. And so he built one here. And so that would be neat, but I've seen a couple of my classmates and people have gone and visited it and put some pictures in Facebook, and they light up. It's like the troll is holding light posts, and he's like, these flowers smell funny. And so the next at nighttime though, these light posts actually light up even in his hand. And it's called Firefly Park or something. And so there's a bench that you could sit at, and there's either a butterfly, or maybe it's supposed to be a firefly or a dragonfly, and the wings light up. And the sign, there's an archway that leads into the park, and the sign lights up and things like that. So it's kind of like, well, that'd be nice to see it lit up too. But also we just had, summer solstice, so it's the longest day. So now the days are going to start getting shorter, but even still, it's light out until like 8:30. So I'm assuming the lights don't go on until 8:39. I think the park's open until 10. So I'll have to look at it. In any case, I copied that, put it in my little list of things to do, because Wayne, was like, oh, hey, do you want to do that today, like on Saturday? Do you want to do that today? And I was like, well, no, let's wait for Cassie to get back and see if she'd want to do that with us or not. Or, because we could do that a Saturday after she's done working, and that way too she'd still have her Sunday to rest. She's not going to have school anymore, so she's going to be having work. Her last final was yesterday, her Monday. Obviously today's Monday for me, but her Monday was yesterday, so she had 2 more finals. She did well. She put it in chat. She's like, for her Korean class, she goes, well, I thought the test went well, but I was still crying when I handed it in. I'm like, well, you came full circle. You cried probably after the first day of class, and now you cried again here. And she's like, Mom. And I'm like, well, it is what it is. I'm like, you'll be memorable to her. And she's like, well, not in the best way. And I'm like, it is so. I'm like, you know what? You stayed. You tried. You kept trying. It wasn't like you gave up. And on the tune, you didn't stop going to class. That you kept going and you kept trying. And so that says something there. But anyways, so that's done. And then she packed last night. They had a going away party there at the university on Friday night. Yeah, I guess it was pouring rain. Friday she mailed the box back to here. I thought she was gonna mail it on Tuesday, but she actually mailed it Friday. And then she had to walk in the pouring rain carrying this very nice heavy box. She didn't tell me how much it weighed though, I was surprised, but she said her arms are still hurting the next day. So between carrying that and trying to hold an umbrella, and the wind turned the umbrella inside out, so she had to go find like an awning under a building and stand there a little bit and get the umbrella back the way it should be. Yeah, and rest the box on something she couldn't put on the ground. The ground was wet, so she rested it on a bench that was there, whatever, and she rested it on her knee at one point. So like she took 2 different stops to rest a little bit before she got to the post office. But got it good to go, so that should be coming probably tomorrow, I'm hoping. So I've already put the white light all around it, make sure everything's going to be fine and okay, because it's a heavy box. Everything will be fine. They'll come just hunky-dory. And yeah, and then she had the going away party, and she says it was, it was pretty good. It was okay. That I think the university president talked, and then a couple teachers talked, and then a couple students talked, and then they were like, two more students. Cassie's just like, So a couple other students talked or whatever, and then they had the sandwiches again to hand out, and I think stickers. That's what she showed. So she had her like BLT sandwich and a drink and got a little treat, and that was it for that. So I think she said she got socks or something. But I asked her if she had, if she said goodbye to Angela and Susan yet. She said no. So I was surprised yesterday after class she didn't go out. Said actually she was showering when either they were going out or something. So tomorrow's move out day for them. So I don't know if Angela and Susan are heading right to the airport. I'm assuming they are. And Cassie's going to a hotel. She wanted to stay on an extra week. Her visa gave her up to 2 weeks after university was done to have to leave. And so she thought 1 week should be good enough that she will see whatever other sites that she wants to see. And this way gives her one more weekend with her sister to spend some last time with her, of which Mandy's not happy for. Mandy's just like, we don't talk about it. That was good. Mandy spent some time with her teacher friends this past weekend. Saturday they went out. I think they're going to go out to eat lunch or something. And then there was some festive going on. Festival. That's it. It's like, it's not a festivity. There's a festival going on. So there's one guy, she said, that was doing, he juggled knives. He juggled bowling pins. He put one of those big life-size balloons on. Like sometimes you can put your whole body in these balloons, it fits your whole body. Well, he put that like on his head, and then he was like bouncing it around, and that was pretty funny. Had some balloon where he was putting like needles through, and the balloon would stay, but then he popped it, and so it was like a real balloon. So that, a couple clowns dressed up and on stilts making balloon animals. And some chalk that was on the sidewalk. So her and her teacher friend, they drew their, wrote their names and drew a little caricature, whatever. So Mandy drew a frog with her name. And then they went to their wine bar and had a drink, and so they had a day out. That was fun. That was good. Cassie tried studying on Sunday. It was like, I don't know what she did on Saturday. She did much at all. So yeah, didn't have the weekend together this weekend, but this next week she wants to see Mandy because she's got a bag full of stuff that she's going to give her. So even whatever she already sent home, but then obviously she still needed some things this week. But there are things like laundry detergent and the stuff that Mandy could use. So she's going to give that to Mandy. And then, yeah, I don't know if she has a list or not. I'm going to go through and figure out what she wants to do. But for this next week, she said, she's going to go see a couple things by herself. Have some fun. And that's it. And then she's ready to come home. I've already cried some tears. I told her the other day, I'm like, yep, I'm already crying. She said, you don't have to worry about that. I got it covered. I've got it. Just because it's change. Whew, there again. I don't know. Either after having babies, I don't think it was this bad. After the whole cancer thing, anytime I talk about crying, because I did this before that. Anytime with Cassie, we'd be having conversations. Anytime I talk about crying, I will cry. Yeah. So, yeah, I told Cassie, I'm like, yeah, got that covered for you. Thinking about her crying during class, crying during handing her test in. right now it's like change. She'll be leaving the university, which again is a good thing. She'll be coming home. But it's like, God, it seems so long ago that she left and got there. And now she's coming home already. But it's kind of like, all right, university took good care of her. That city took good care of her, you know? So I think about too, like when I had my hotel stays, and it's like even leaving, I'm like, I thank the room, you know, pat the door frame, pat the bed, like, thank you, bed. You were good. You took good care of me. I'm like, thank you, room. You did a good job. So that's kind of it with Cassie leaving the dorm room, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, thank you, dorm room, for taking good care of her. You did good. Everything was good. She had a good roommate. It went okay. Like Cassie didn't cry too much. It didn't bother them. They got along. They talked to each other if something bothered them. Now, one of the times Cassie had finished ramen, and the roommate was like, do you mind if I take this out and put it in the trash? And Cassie was like, oh, I could do that, And said something, and the girl was like, yeah, that smell just bothers me. And Cassie's like, okay, and then knew that anytime she wanted to have ramen, she'd make sure that her roommate was at class or was out for a walk or something like that, that Cassie knew she had time to make it, eat it, and get it out of the room. Maybe put a fan on or something that would dissipate the smell. And then Cassie asked her, it's like, every time you open the window, could you make sure you put the screen down so no bugs come in and all that? Okay, so, that was very nice that they got along. That went really well. But yeah, so Cassie leaving her dorm. So again, she's still got a week of that. And then Marcel will be her leaving her sister, per se. leaving the area of her sister. Because yes, when she's home, yes, they can talk, but it's still not like just like being there. So that you just know. You know that you've got somebody, right there. So if you're not feeling well, you're sick, whatever, if you need help, you've got your sister right there that will do whatever you need. Maybe partly also because of when Mandy went there before, when she was there at university, she got sick. And the people that she was with didn't really help her out. Like Mandy needed some medicine and asked them to go to the store for her, and they wouldn't. They did go to a Starbucks one time, and they brought her some like hot chocolate. One of them did. Out of like the 3 friends she had, or 4 friends. So yeah, that as a mom, that hurt my heart. So to know now that the sister was there, and even when Cassie landed, Mandy was there. Mandy brought her a vitamin C drink, saying, here, so you don't get sick. And I was like, oh, that was very nice. And then Mandy wasn't feeling good, and Cassie picked up something because it was more in her area that Mandy couldn't find it by her or something. So Cassie picked up some drink, took it over to Mandy, said, here you go. Mandy needed something for her sink was smelling, and so Cassie picked up vinegar and took that over to Mandy, so they were taking care of each other. And yeah, and Mandy has a long time. So Mandy has her teacher friends, so at least, like I said, that's good. And I explained before, Mandy's more settled in. It's good, but it's still change. Didn't think I was that bad at change. I kind of knew I didn't really like change. And then in the working world, it was always like something about, when they change a rule, and then I heard something, read something, whatever videos of going, change is always. So you can always be guaranteed on, whatever, like death and taxes, and change. That there's always change. And I've realized that it takes a little bit out of me. Change does. So it's all right. Cry, get some tears out, and then I'm good. And then I assimilate. I get used to it. I move on. Life is good. So in that case, that's all that's going on. Nothing going on this week. My jaw is feeling good. The tooth area is feeling good. Sometimes forget about it as I'm eating. I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, once something hits that area, it's like, oh yeah, well, okay, wait, 2 more on this side. So I still feel it with my tongue a little bit. I feel a little something on the inside of the mouth. It still looks almost like a little bit swollen, the gum line, but that will obviously heal in time also. But otherwise than that, that's feeling good, so that's good. And then, yeah, not much going on. The heat is supposed to be here through today. Tomorrow it's supposed to break. We may get a little bit of rain. I think we're supposed to have rain for the next 2 days. And drop back down into the upper 70s or something, I think, for our highs. And this next weekend it should be a little bit cooler. So again, if we go to Strawberry Fest, it should be nice weather. That'll be good. So that's all that's on the plans. I hope you guys are having fun, doing something good for the summer, having some good times, watching your grandkids maybe, go taking them swimming, taking them to the beach if you can. Playing the sprinkler, that's always fun too. Yeah, doing some fun stuff for you, going to some festivals, getting out, enjoying this world of ours. So I hope you're finding something that makes you smile, and you guys keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.